On March 25, 2017, on the western coast of Sulawesi, Indonesia, a 25-year-old man named Akbar Salubiro left his home to harvest palm oil. It was a routine Sunday, the kind of day where the worst you could expect is an aching back and sore hands. He walked into the plantation grove behind his village and never came back. When they found him 2 days later, he was inside a snake. He wasn't near a snake or attacked by a snake. He was inside one, swallowed whole. It was the first fully confirmed case in recorded history of a snake killing and consuming an adult human being. It wouldn't be the last. Reticulated pythons are the longest snakes on Earth. Specimens have been known to exceed 10 meters or over 32 feet in length. That's longer than a giraffe at full height. The longest reticulated python ever found in the wild was discovered in 1912 and measured nearly 33 feet. But length alone doesn't explain what happened to Akbar Salubiro. What matters is how this animal kills. A reticulated python doesn't have venom, it doesn't chew, and it doesn't tear. Instead, it has dozens of razor-sharp teeth, curved backward, and designed to hold instead of bite. Once those teeth sink in, pulling away only drives them deeper. It then coils its thick, massive body. The python wraps around the prey and squeezes. The idea that these creatures crush bones is a myth. It squeezes to control breathing. Every time the victim exhales, the python tightens its grip. Every breath becomes smaller than the last. The victim's death comes from cardiac arrest or asphyxiation that occurs usually within minutes. Then it begins to swallow. The python's jaw is connected by flexible ligaments that allow it to stretch around prey far wider than its own head. It consumes the victim whole, head first, over the course of an hour or more. Here's what they don't usually put in the nature documentaries. The reason python attacks aren't common isn't because they aren't capable of killing adult humans. The limiting factor is that human shoulder blades, the widest part of the body, don't collapse. For a python to swallow an adult, it must be large enough to get past the shoulder blades. It would have to be really large. That night, people in the village heard cries coming from the palm grove. They were sounds of distress, carrying through the humid air. They didn't know what they were hearing. The next day, a python was found in a ditch near Akbar's home. It was nearly 7 meters long, its belly swollen, to the point it could barely move. The villagers grew suspicious. When they cut it open, Akbar was inside, fully intact and still clothed. His rubber boots were the first thing they recognized. Police took video at the scene that shows the snake being opened with a long knife. The footage is real. It has been verified by multiple news organizations, including the BBC. This was not a rumor and not a folk story passed down through generations. It was real. The process of retrieving Akbar's body from the python's stomach was documented with photographs and video. That documentation made it the first fully confirmed case of a snake consuming an adult human in recorded history. It was the first, but it would not be the last. 14 months later, on June 14, 2018, a 54-year-old woman named Wa Tiba went to check her vegetable garden on Muna Island, off the coast of Sulawesi. Her garden sat at the base of a rocky cliff. The cliff was riddled with caves. The caves are known to be inhabited by snakes. Like Akbar, she didn't return home that evening. The next morning, searchers found her sandals and her machete in the garden. 30 meters away, they found a python with a bloated belly lying motionless. It was 7 meters long. They cut it open and they found the woman inside. In October of 2022, in the Jambi province of Sumatra, a 54-year-old woman named Jahrah left to go work at a rubber plantation. It was a Sunday morning. That evening, her husband reported her missing. He found her sandals, her headscarf, her jacket, and her tools in the plantation. The next morning, a 7-meter python was found nearby. When they opened it, Jahrah was inside. Like the others, she had been consumed. In June of 2024, in the Kalempang village of South Sulawesi, a 45-year-old woman named Farida went missing on a Thursday night. Her husband found her belongings scattered near their home. The villagers searched the area and found a python with a swollen belly. When they cut it open, Farida's head was the first thing that they saw. She was fully clothed, intact, and inside of the snake. 3 weeks later, in July of 2024, another woman named Siriati was found inside a python in South Sulawesi. In July of 2025, a 63-year-old man named Lanoti was eaten by a reticulated python while feeding his livestock in southeast Sulawesi. The death toll kept creeping higher. The world is full of dark and disturbing tales of deadly encounters with terrifying creatures. We post these stories weekly. Don't miss out, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on social media where you'll get all of our latest updates. Stay close and stay safe. So why is this happening? The answer is not that reticulated pythons have changed. The answer is that the landscape has changed. Palm oil plantations attract animals such as wild boars, primates, and dogs. These are the python's natural prey. The plantations create a corridor. It's a hunting ground that brings the snake into direct contact with humans working alone, often at dawn or dusk, often in tall grass or near water. The reticulated python is normally afraid of humans. It is sensitive to vibration, noise, and light, and avoids people and human settlements. However, a palm oil plantation is not a settlement. It's a liminal space that is half cultivated and half wild. A worker bent over in the grass at 6 in the morning doesn't look that different from a boar. Between 1934 and 1974, 6 fatal attacks on humans by reticulated pythons were reported. In the Philippines, the Acta tribe of hunter-gatherers share forest space with these snakes. They reported that 26% of their men had survived predation attempts by reticulated pythons. This is not new. What's new is that we're seeing this happen now because the habitat is shrinking, the plantations are expanding, and the direct encounters are increasing. In every documented case since 2017, the pattern is the same. There's one person alone in a transitional space between where humans and snakes reside. It's usually during dawn or dusk, and in tall grass or near dense vegetation. The snake doesn't know it's eating a person. It detects warmth, movement, and it strikes on instinct. In 1638, Antonio van Diemen, Governor-General of the Dutch East India Company, reported seeing an enslaved woman tending to a garden on the island of Gunung Api. She was attacked by a snake that was just over 7 meters in length and was swallowed whole. The soldiers found the snake, barely able to move, and shot it. They brought it to the Governor-General so he could examine it with the victim still inside. That was 1638. The pattern has always been there. We weren't paying close enough attention. In 2017, Akbar Salubiro became the first confirmed case, not because he was the first to die. It was because he was the first to be documented with camera phones, through social media, and with video evidence that couldn't be dismissed as folklore or exaggeration. The monsters were never imaginary. We just got comfortable.